So a friend of mine the other day said, hey, you want this old MPV wheel and tire? MPV, multi-passenger vehicle? Absolutely, that's just what I've been looking for. The wheel, the tire, it's brand new. There's only one of them. Now if it was a match, but what I really like is that wheel. I think it's time to make that wheel grill. Here is wheel number one for the wheel grill. That's a 15-inch wheel. I gotta find one more 15. We're gonna stack them, weld them, cut a hole, build a fire. We've got our wheel grill. So I've got these two 15-inch wheels. I'm about ready to weld them together, cut a door, and then this wide 15-inch wheel showed up. I'm thinking it might look better. Might hold a little more wood. So we'll line those little guys up, weld them together, cut a door. We've got our wheel grill. Here I've traced where I'm going to cut my door open, and you can't see it very good on the black. Maybe I can make you a little grinder mark showing where the line is. You just want to make sure that when you're cutting this, you're not cutting through, see that part right there? So I measured, I'm going to cut right on the inside of that. Let me turn around so you can see it. So when I cut, I'm going to cut right on the inside of that. I don't have to double cut the metal. I don't have to cut the double thickness metal. And the same thing on this wheel, I'm going to cut it right about here. That'll be your door hole right there. Well, half of your door hole. I'm using a little thin cutoff wheel. The thinner the better. It cuts right through it. Now I've cut 99% through the wheel, but I left the corners intact. That way when I'm welding it together, that'll hold the door in place for me. Then after I get it welded, I'll cut out the little corners, door falls out, good to go. Then we can weld on a hinge and have a hingeable door. That's the plan. Okay, this hole is 99% cut, and then I went around the edge, the lip of the rim, and I ground off the rust and paint. Here, and that's where we'll be welding that baby together. Those little shiny spots. Now while you were not looking, I took off wheel weights. I guess they'll just have to be out of balance. And I'm using my hand truck, my dolly, the pipes on there to hold the wheel straight. I've got my ground on. It's time to weld this baby together. And I've also got my shoe protectors protecting my shoes from the hot stuff. Now on the potbelly wheel stove, I started to wait to cut this door out after it was welded together. I'm glad I didn't. And I also started to go ahead and cut it all the way out, then weld it together. I'm glad I didn't. I think we did it the right way. Cut it 99%, weld it, and then finish cutting it out. And I want to remove this slag off the weld, this slag. And you could, if you wanted to, you could get some of that black high temperature wood stove paint. I think I'm going to go with rust color on mine. Let me think about it.
Yeah, what are you doing? Dad. Dad.
There's your door.
Dad.
It's a grill.
It even looks like a little potbelly stove. I'm going to somehow make me a hinge and a latch on here. So what do you think? Sideways door or drawbridge style? Leave me a comment, tell me what you think. Cook some mosquitoes on there. Now this wheel grill comes in pretty neat when you're building a tiny house. I got all these wood scraps. I think tonight we're going to build a raging hot fire in there. You know, we could burn the grease off, burn off the valve stems. I don't think I want to cook on it right now. Maybe burn off some of the brake asbestos. And then later we might want to cook some hamburgers on there, who knows. I've got this grill. This came off one of my old grills I don't use anymore. It fits right on that wheel. So all these scrap boards from the tiny house, put those babies in there, light it up. And when I finish cutting the door out, I've got these little razor blades. I'm going to grind those off so I don't get cut. I don't really like getting cut. That little jagged edge, oh, that doesn't look very safe. Let's grind those off, make it smoother. We're about to fire up the steel wheel grill. We can use a combination of dried oak and some charcoal. We do hamburgers, sausages, ribs. We're gonna run the gamut. Okay, when you're building a fire, I like to think of matches. Matches first, they burn easy. Then you step up to smaller wood. This is kindling. That would burn easier. This would go to something bigger. Pretty soon you're burning logs. It's kind of like the food chain. The little tiny fish is eaten by the bigger fish, is eaten by the bigger fish. Pretty soon you got a shark eating the big fish. Our shark would be a log. Okay, so on the inside of the steel wheel grill, I've stacked up some little small wood, and we'll strike our match, and we'll light the little wood with the match. The little wood lights the bigger wood, lights the bigger wood, and it lights the bigger wood. I've got this log here holding the wood up, so we'll get some air underneath it so it can breathe. Then we'll graduate to bigger twigs. Maintain that air gap. Quit. The girl's trying to knock down my log cabin in there. Now I got my little log cabin there burning, and I'll use my log cabin to start the charcoal. The charcoal is not Insta-Light, but it's about to instantly be lit. And while we're making this fire, the kids are over practicing their fire building skills. Let me see if we can zoom in a little bit.